Here we go. Let's get going on this floor of our shed. So we're going to draw just this portion of it. And if we take a look at our scale, it is 1/16 of an inch is 1 inch for anything smaller than a foot. But we're like looking at this one, 1 inch is 1 foot, right? So if this says 12 feet, then we're going to draw a line that's 12 inches, right? So if I go, I'm going to start, I got it taped down everything, paper square. I'm going to start at 2, so 2 plus 12 would be 14. We're going to start with that line right there, and this one's going to be solid because it is definitely part of our shed. And then from top to bottom is going to be 8 feet, right? So I'm going to go 8 inches down on that one. I'm going to draw a light line here, and then I'm going to measure it out. So if I start at 1, I'm going to 9, right? So we needed the bigger piece of paper for this one, and we'll darken up some of that later. I'm just going to get my overall size first, and then we can put a light line here across, and then we can get a light line straight down again. So here's the overall size of my shed. We do know that this one is dark, and now that I know how long it is, I can darken this one up. So this one is definitely part of our base, our floor, okay? So next up, let's just start by drawing out these skids out here on the side. So I got a skid on top and bottom, and it says that they are 3.5. What else do we know? Round to the nearest inch for mini shed, 1/2 inch round up. So I need to round to the nearest inch. That's 4 inches. So with this scale, 4 inches would be 4/16, which is a 1/4 inch. So on each one of those, I'm going to go down a 1/4 inch right there. And I'm going to go up a 1/4 inch right there. Did I do that right? Yep. 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch. Was looking right. I'm second guessing myself. Yep. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So on each of those, we're going a 1/4 inch. And those will be solid as well. So I'll get my T-square on here, and we will draw it all the way across. Okay. 1/4 inch on each of those. Because we got 4/16. Okay. So there's my skids. Okay. And then to start this, let's just put our first stud here. To start that one right there, do I have a distance on that one? We know that it's 1 foot from the edge, so that's going to be 1 inch, right? We'll make a mark at 1 inch there, and let's go ahead and get our other one on the other side. So 1 inch in on each of those because it's 1 foot, and then these are 2x4s, right? So number, where was it? Number 2 is a 2x6 actually, so it's only 2 inches wide. It's not actually 2 inches wide, and we'll talk about that later, but on this we're going to go 2 inches. But with this scale, 2 inches would be 2/16, right? So that's 1/8. So we're going to go an 1/8 inch on each side of that to draw those studs in there, okay? Or floor joists, my bad. Call them studs. Floor joists coming in. So we're going to go from that line to this line. And again, my other side. Okay, so now that we got our outside ones in, let's go ahead and do this one first. So this one, from this edge to that edge, is 1 foot 3 1/4. So we're going to round down. So that's going to be 1 inch and 3/16, right? So 1 3/16 to that one. So if I go from there, I'm going to go in 1 3/16, and then we do know that it's 1/8 inch wide. So there's my first one right there. So we'll put that right there, and I'll draw this down. Draw this one down. 1/8 inch wide on each one of those. Okay. So on our second one here, it's 1 foot 4, right? So from this edge to that edge. So I'm going to be measuring off of this one. So 1 foot 4 on that one. And we're drawing in our floor joists right now. So let's go. 1 foot 4 would be 4/16, right? So that's 1 inch, and it's from that first one right there. So I'm going to go 1 inch and then 4/16 right there. And then we'll make another mark for another 1/8 inch farther. Okay, so we'll draw that one in there like so. Okay, and then after that, we should be missing a dimension right here, and I'll have to just write it on this one. Actually, I should have put OC on this, right? Because that's 16-inch on center, so that's 16-inch OC, right? That's a standard because that'll allow it for our sheets to land in the correct spots, and we'll talk about that when we get out on the shed. But for this purpose, this is 16-inch on center. I'll put notes on that on your drawing, but I'm going to update this one. So the next ones are all going to be 1'4" for the rest of them, and that until we get to that one, right? So 1'4" again. I'm just going to mark out a few of these. So let's go 1'4" again. Would be 1 4/16, and then an 1/8 inch wide, right? And then we'll go up to this one. We'll go up 1 4/16, and then an 1/8 inch wide again. And then we're going to just be drawing these in once we get them all in. So a 1 1/4 on each one of those. And we're going 1 1/4 again. 1/8 inch gap on each one. 1 1/4 again. 1/8 inch gap. Okay. So that got us to the end of it. Right. So taking a look at this. Draw that in there. Making sure you use my T-square tight on this. Okay. We're pretty much wrapped up there. So we got down to the end of it. So then our next step, we got our blocking is the only thing left, and that's just in between on each one of those, and it's 1/8 inch wide for each one of those. So I'm going to go down an 1/8 inch here, make a mark. I'm going to go up an 1/8 inch here, make a mark, and then I'm going to use my T-square to draw all across all those, stopping on each of the floor joists. So we're just drawing our blocking in here. And again down at the bottom. There we go. So the only thing is maybe darken up some of our pieces right here. Down on the end, because we know this is solid. There. Four by 8. So, what else we got on this thing? We're looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and put in some of these labels. So I want to see these blocking. Okay. What else? We got floor joists on that. That's a floor joist. Floor joists. And let's keep these on any of these arrows on the inside. And then we're going to point to that one down there is a skid. Skid. Any other labels? Skid, floor joist, blocking. We got our skids, both sides. We got our floor joists all spaced out correctly. And then we got our blocking down there. Everything looks solid. Beautiful. Good luck.